everyone. Today we are going to see about Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. So we will be studying about the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, which is under the syllabus of pharmaceutical jurisprudence. So first, let's see why this act was passed and what are the objectives. And we are going to discuss a lot of things that comes under Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. As we all know, it is very obvious and it is very familiar that animals are a vital key for medical research because before any drug molecule comes into market and before any drug comes into human consumption, it has to go through a series of trials and researches that are being conducted on animals. So in this case, a lot of animals are being used, starting from rats, guinea pigs to dogs, because we've heard about a lot of organ transplantation also that is happening, so in animal studies and all that, so that it could be helpful to the humankind. So when this is happening, on the other side, the animals are treated unfairly. So in the unfair treatment, inflicting unnecessary pain to the animal, and a lot of drugs might cause side effects that causes the animals to die. So all this should be prevented, and we are going to study about preventing the cruelty to animals in this particular act. Let's dive in deeper and learn what this act is and why this act was passed in detail. So I've split this particular video into several smaller videos so that you could understand in depth about the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. So let's see what are the contents. So the first content is your objective. Why this act was passed? What is the main thing that this act says? And next we have a lot of definitions that will come under this act. So we'll be seeing about that. And next we have our Institutional Animal Ethical Committee. So in case of human studies, we have to get permission from Institutional Ethical Committee. So they will be having a set of rules, set of guidelines that are to be followed, their protocol, which we have to follow in case of conducting our experiments in human research. And when it comes to animals, we have to contact the Institutional Animal Ethical Committee to get their permission, and we have to follow their guidelines to perform any research on animals. So for that, Institutional Animal Ethical Committee is there. And also CPC-SEA. So the CPC-SEA provides certain guidelines for breeding and stocking of the animals. A lot of industries uses animals, for either milk production or meat production, whatever it is. So everything should be under the guidelines of CPC-SEA. And they will be performing inspections from time to time. They have to have a lot of records to be maintained. They will be checking everything. So if any of these guidelines are found to be not followed, industry or a particular whatever factory or something, then they will revoke the registration and they will have to shut down the whole unit. So that will be there. And next we have performance of experiments, transfer and acquisition of animals for experiment. So a lot of animals that are being studied will be from another country also, not just indigenous breeds but also from the other countries. So for that, to perform an experiment on animals that are from the other countries, they have to transfer the animals from that country to the country where they are studying. So for that, they have to have a lot of guidelines that should be followed for the transfer of animals and also for the acquisition of animals. Some animals might be under the brink of extinction, or some animals might not survive to the current situation of the another country. So for all those things, they have to have precautionary steps and all those things. So that will come under acquisition, experiment and transfer of animals. Next we have your records. Under your records, you'll have to have a lot of online and offline records. For example, let's take a college. So what do they have in a college? First, they will have a record of your attendance, that is mandatory, and also they will have a record of your academic performances, sports performances, and all your certificates will also be there. So for each subject, they will be having a lot of records. Similarly, when it comes to Institutional Animal Ethical Committee or to Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, the industry where the animals are being bred or the animals are being stocked should maintain particular records, not just the breeding or stocking industry, but also the laboratory where the experiments are being performed should have records that state what is the name of the animal, and how many animals were acquired, on which date was it acquired, what was the reason for acquirement, what is the drug that is being tested, what are the side effects that might be caused, and a lot of things like that should be recorded. And also they should be kept for inspection, because every now and then inspectors will be coming from the government sector or from institutional animal ethical committee to check on what is going on in the particular investigation, or what is going on in the particular research. Next, we have power to suspend or revoke registration. If the inspectors find that the guidelines are not being followed in the laboratory, and if unnecessary pain is being inflicted to animals, they have the full right to suspend and revoke the registration of the particular laboratory, and they might even shut down the particular unit for non compliance. Next, we have offenses and penalties. So, in offenses and penalties, we can see what are the offenses and what will be the outcome, or what will be the penalty. Let's take for an example, a thief is there. He has gone to some house and he has stolen some goods from the particular house. What will happen eventually? He will be caught eventually. And what is his penalty? He has to spend his life in prison according to the weightage of the crime that he has committed. Similarly, in this case, we will have offenses and penalties. For example, if they are found to be inflicting pain to the animal unnecessarily, they have to pay a penalty. All right, so it will be like that. So these are the offenses and penalties. So these are the contents of the video, and we will be seeing about this in detail in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Hope you have a good day and see you in the next video. Until then, this is Dr. Jacinta signing off.